We're live.
And we're live here on 7 o'clock. It is Wednesday, September 21st. What it is.
That was an interesting intro.
Intros happen. That's how it goes. Here we are, 34, 35, 36 seconds in. My neighbor across the street, did you see their yard?
No.
They have a Bills logo painted on their front lawn.
Cool.
It's kind of dope.
Yeah.
We're here, we're live, and we're talking to you.
Yes.
So,
what do we want to do first?
what do we want? We're going to do quick discussion about things.
Okay.
And then we'll
Bills.
talk. We'll remember the Titans.
Literally.
Yep. So, our sponsor.
Yeah. Our unofficial sponsor.
Unofficial sponsor. Pepsi has donated $0 to us. And Noah and I still have to work our jobs, Pepsi. So, if you want to help us become a real podcast, a real
Pepsi.
show,
Yeah. Sure. We can go with that.
a real show, then Pepsi, it's up to you. This would fix your Kendall Jenner mistake during the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Would it?
Yeah. Peace and love. It sounded like we were done. So anyway, welcome. Today is Wednesday, September 21st. How was your day?
It was all right. That's about it. It was all right. It was fine.
That's a good boy. Oh my God. Here we are, the professionals here talking to you today. And so we're going to start talking about Robert Sarver,
Okay.
owner of the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury. He has stated he is selling the teams.
Yeah. Good. Bye.
All right. I also agree. Goodbye.
No, you don't. I mean,
do you think Adam Silver had anything to do with it?
I would bet both did. I mean, I would bet there had to be stuff going on behind the scenes because nobody thought that this was going to happen.
Right.
Because everybody thought he was going to be a dick about it.
A lot of
and not
pundits
sell.
are saying this tarnishes Silver's legacy because he didn't do more up front.
I bet you that the only way he would do it is if they made it seem like the decision came from him. Anyway.
True.
So.
Moving on. Aaron Judge hit his 60th home run.
Yep. There have been.
He's on pace for 66.
Tonight, the most tickets sold in Yankee Stadium were in the outfield. Because he's set to break the.
Did you see
record.
what the AL record? Did you see what what the kid who caught the 60th ball did?
No.
He didn't they asked him
what do you want?
What do you want? Yeah. And he didn't take money. He didn't do anything. He was like, I want a bat and a signed baseball and a picture with me and my friends and Judge.
Okay. I mean, if that's what he wants, hey, whatever.
I think that's dumb. Anyway.
I mean, it's his decision.
It is his decision, but I don't know. He looked like he was like college, like your age. So college age-ish.
I would have just asked for like $20,000. Like, there you go. That's it.
And season tickets.
Why wouldn't? But no. To the Yankees.
And an apartment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. An apartment in New York City. Yeah, no problem.
No, that they pay for.
Yeah. Okay.
You could work remote.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, totally.
So Kevin Adams is extended by the Sabres as their general manager.
Cool. Good. Yeah.
So we're happy about that.
Yes.
I'm happy about that. It's nice to see the Sabres rewarding the people who are competent, just like the Pagulas rewarded the people who are competent. And
With the Bills.
With the Bills, yes. And things are moving forward with both organizations. Sabres camp opens today.
Yeah.
You're really helping me here.
I mean, these are just short little topics. I don't know. Yeah, Sabres camp open today. I mean,
anything you were excited about? Did you get to see any of the 3-team tournament?
No, I mean, I saw the tweets and stuff. I mean, I saw Savoy's goal, which looked like a photocopy of like Briere. I saw both of Kozak's goals, which were just impressive.
I guess the one who's impressing all the coaches is Philip Cederquist.
Okay.
They said he came in like 3 inches taller than they expected him to be and had all this muscle on him that they didn't expect, and he was like digging in front of he was like a 5th round pick from like 2020 or something.
Well, I mean, Kozak is what, 7th round?
Yeah.
And he's gonna be
they signed
he's gonna
him.
start right. He's gonna be in Rochester.
So they think a lot of these guys are gonna be in Rochester.
Well, they were talking about on WGR, like they brought up like a good point. Like what do the Sabres do now? Because like they re-signed Hinostroza.
Yeah.
Right? They re-signed, guys like Gergensons is still here. Bork is still here, You
send them down or they get claimed if someone beats them out. You've created competition.
Yeah, but what?
Right?
But
you've created competition, which is awesome.
The question is like, is Hinostroza gonna accept you sending him down?
I don't know. He'll ask for a trade, maybe. I have no idea.
But I mean, but then the other question comes in is if you also though want to preserve the core, what do they think of as the core?
I think your core right now is about 5 guys plus Skinner on the outside because you're stuck with him for 18 more years.
Yeah. You can just slowly move down the lines as it gets slower.
I think it's Dahlin, Power,
Cousins,
I guess.
I really don't think they're gonna do anything with Cousins at this point.
Tage, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Tage gonna be captain next year?
No.
You don't really?
I think it'll be Okposo for a year, and then they'll figure it out.
Oh, that's true. That's true. They'll give it to him next year. Tage will have an A though, for sure.
Yeah. You don't pay him that kind of money to not ask him to lead.
And I mean, I feel like that's all they talk about when it comes to Thompson too, is how much he leads now.
Well, that's good. He's 6'7". He should.
Yeah. Who gets the other A? Dallin? Just because? Cousins?
Tuck.
Oh, okay. I would be fine with that.
You prepare Tuck to be the captain, right? If he doesn't get an A this year, he's not captain next year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Tuck is your captain next year going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, he's locked in for 3 more years after this. I mean, for 4 more years now.
UFA in 26, 27.
And he'll resign.
You have Tage until 29, 30. I mean, I do feel like at some point, I mean, Tage is 24, but I do feel like at some point, though, like Tage is going to be captain.
Well, you can flip it. I mean, it
might not be now. I mean, he is young.
Right.
You don't really see young captains unless they're like as
superstars.
Good as Nathan McKinnon. Yeah.
Right. Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel.
It worked out so well.
So Lamar Jackson is in a throwing sleeve or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, he has some pat and right out his throwing elbow.
On his throwing elbow. Didn't throw in practice.
Yeah, to any
in media practice.
Yeah.
The Bills play him for people who are not in the loop.
Attention.
Yeah, the Bills' schedule has the Ravens
next
in
after
week
Miami
4. So Miami is week 3. You like that?
3.
And so there's a little interesting something going on there. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, they haven't really said, and they're keeping it quiet because, they can.
Right.
But I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch that play out and see what happens. Because you don't know. He just didn't throw, but it seems like there's something wrong with his elbow. How long is it going to keep him out? Because if it's like, I feel like if it's anything with the elbow, unless it's like a sprain, you have to be looking at multiple weeks, especially if it's his throwing arm. If it was his non-throwing arm, they'd be like, oh,
yeah, but
whatever.
Their backup's good, right?
Is it?
Yeah, it's the same guy. What's his face?
Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
But that still is a huge loss, taking out Lamar, like not having Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Bills are currently before we talk Bills, last one.
Okay. All right.
Murray.
Yeah.
Who got slapped by a guy in a gray t-shirt.
Well, okay, here's the way. I don't know. I don't know if he tried to punch him or he tried to grab him because you can't see with the camera angle. But he does like lunge at the guy when he walks over there. But it does look like he first lunges at the guy in the gray and then like he moves at the last second and goes like towards the Raiders fans. So to me, that makes me feel like something was said because like he was also he kept talking to them, like to the fans, to the Raiders fans that were literally right there. But I'm also not letting anybody slap me in the face, like accident or not. Like you also just won in overtime in a place where the fans could travel, so like you don't know what it is. The guy's also wearing a gray t-shirt.
Yeah.
So like if Murray saw it happen and like just saw a fan,
it looked to me like his face went like this. Like the guy went like this down his face.
Yeah, and that's weird. That's just weird. No,
right, but he didn't punch him. He didn't slap him. He didn't.
I don't know.
Anything.
It looked like he like hit him in the face though, and then like dragged his hand down.
It only looks like he hit him in the face because of the pictures
but then the first time
where it was in slow motion.
Okay, but then Murray gets hit in the face and
he gets the hand run down his face.
Yeah, but then he walks away.
Yeah.
So like something had to be said because he was ready to.
There was a guy who wouldn't let him go and went like this, who kept holding him and spun him back. It was really strange.
I don't know. That's a weird situation.
It was very weird. But now he has said he has no hard feelings towards the guy.
Yeah. What is he going to say?
Well, he initially said he wanted a police investigation.
Oh. Well, the police probably looked into it and were like...
He ran his hand down your face?
I don't know. Maybe Murray was like, I don't know what happened exactly. Like, Murray even looks confused.
He does look confused.
When he turns around, he like looks like what? Like he has like a look of like what just happened, like here, like what did I really just get a hand run down my face? But I don't know if even that was his reaction, because if there was somebody turning him around, like you said, he could be like, why am I getting turned around and pushed into these fans? And then maybe somebody said something to him and he was like, ah. But the problem, right? But the problem could be is,
but you do see him, and
there's no
I know.
proof. Well, there could also be
You
no
see
proof
him
if
go
he was
in
like,
where he closes his fist, like, and two arms then come up into an X, and he hits the X, and it almost looked like someone from the crowd, or like two people from the crowd, luckily got in the way.
I
We'll talk more later. I'll show it to you.
All right, I don't know.
Anyway, and everyone's training camp favorite. Well,
the dog.
I'll go two different ways. Tanner Gentry was signed to the practice squad today.
Yeah.
Because everyone's training camp favorite.
Okay. You can't make fun of these people when you are also sitting here going, man, I wish there was a way they can keep Blackshear, but I know they're not going to be able to. They're going to put him on the practice squad.
That.
Yes, you were. And you said they're going to put him on the practice squad and they're going to lose him. And that's exactly what you said.
We need that. That was CJ, I think.
You guys agreed, though. You guys were like in the same boat.
And I was sitting there going, I was sitting there going, who cares? He's going to the practice squad. Like, that's what I was saying. Who cares? He's going to the practice squad, and if we lose him, it doesn't even matter.
I don't believe that.
Well, then rewind.
We gotta check the VOD.
Rewind.
Well, that was a long time ago, so we'll do that later.
We'll do that later, too. All right. So how is everyone out there? I'm glad to hear that. So we're going to talk Bills now. Well, I guess Blackshear was technically talking about the Bills.
That was the start of us talking about the Bills. So now we can move on to remembering the Titans.
Remember the Titans. So you were there.
Yeah. It was fun.
How was it?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was like a party the whole time. The only time it got quiet was when
Jackson.
No. Well, yes, obviously. But before that, I mean, like the only time where like people were like not really cheering or into the game was like really early where did Josh get something happened? Did Josh get intercepted or something?
He didn't throw any.
No, right. I don't know. Something, or they got stopped or Tennessee scored.
Maybe.
Something
all happened. All of those things happened.
I know. So I don't remember exactly what happened.
When they punted. Yeah. And everyone was like,
no, it was early. Like the only time was like in the first quarter that were like people weren't into it. And then the defense was kind of getting like ran on. And then Jordan Phillips made a play and then started hyping up the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody got into it. And then it was like nonstop fandemonium. But it really was like a party.
Was the awesome. Marv Levy thing cool?
Yes.
Was it for real?
Yes. Because first of all, you had the entire stadium doing hey with Jim Kelly, where you could literally hear a pin drop when you have Jim Kelly saying, you know, doing his part, doing his call, and you know.
Right.
Then the entire stadium does response and then it's dead quiet. And like, but then you have Marv Levy get on and everybody starts cheering for Marv. And then again, gets dead quiet and he does his thing. And then the entire stadium and you can see Bruce also standing right behind him in a Von Miller jersey.
Right.
And then again, the entire stadium does the right here, right now. And that is just, it's awesome.
Levy's 97.
He looks it. That's for sure.
He does.
Like he looks old.
He does look old, but he can still speak.
Yeah, I mean, he sounds
he outlived
slower.
The Queen.
Good for him.
You know.
Yeah.
Do you think that was his goal?
No, I think his goal was to win one of the 4 Super Bowls. But
well, CJ were here. He would say Levy lost them.
On purpose.
Not on purpose. No. That coaching lost the Super Bowls.
That's true.
He strongly believes in that. I'm coming around on that.
But yeah, no, it is awesome.
So let's
And even when that happens, when it's not Kelly, like when it is a good, like even the TO one last year, that was still cool. Because I mean, even you remember you were there. That was the Monday night game. That was the Patriots Monday night game. Were you there? Was that me and you? Pretty sure.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, remember? It was like that. Dead quiet. He does his thing. Entire state, I know people say it's the entire stadium, but I am not joking. You can hear it happen. Like you can hear it, like it's like a wave. It's awesome. I think that the stadium is awesome. It's awesome, truly. And where we sit, you can see literally everything happen.
Like, yeah, you have good seats here.
You know, I know exactly where he's down, exactly what down it is. Like I was calling, I called the Stefon Diggs touchdown to Jackie. I was like, I'm like, I think it was his first one.
Diggs threw a touchdown to Jackie?
No, I was talking to Jackie and I said to her, I'm like, Stefon Diggs is going to get a touchdown on this drive. And it was his first one. And that was the one I called. And then, but like you could I could watch like the plays happen. Cause I mean, like, and like you can see it happen, but every single time a player got hurt, I was looking somewhere else. So I never knew who the player was. So I was sitting there going, it's a guy with dreads. Like at first I thought it was Edmonds. I was so worried, but then it turned out to be Dane. And then I got really worried again.
Right. Your current number one corner.
But he is out of the hospital at least. So that's positive.
True.
Just hope he gets healthy. But now you have.
He's not. I don't expect him to play anytime soon.
Yeah,
he did.
No, I mean practice. I just mean in general. Like,
I'm sure they're evaluating him healthy. And Micah determining. Well, we'll get into that. Okay. So.
Well, I was just gonna say he also went to the hospital that same night.
Yeah.
To get evaluated.
Yeah.
People were like complaining though that they weren't going back in, and I was like, what? Because like Tennessee started to like get something going, and I was like, you're up by how many?
34.
I'm like, come on, shut up.
They put in Malik Willis. They're waving the white flag.
Right.
Like,
well, at that point, I mean, no, everybody like was laughing, kind of. Once everybody realized that was Malik Willis, and then like, yeah, people were like, did they just give up?
They did.
And they did, but people were shocked.
It was still like, the third quarter.
People were like, what? I heard somebody say, and I think it was a Tennessee fan, like the Tennessee fan goes, why did they put in Malik Willis?
Right.
Like, yeah, it was halfway through the third quarter, and you weren't really down by that much. I mean, you were getting completely dominated on both sides of the football, and absolutely nothing was going for you. But if you're a head coach, that's the message you want to preach.
They showed Vrabel walk over to Tannehill, and he was like, blah, 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 blah.
He probably went, I drafted Malik Willis to replace you. It's not your time.
No, I mean, he was doing.
Yeah, no, I know. He was doing the.
We're sitting you down, but we need you to keep your chin up and be there next week. And
I mean,
that kind of thing. And, I went. They're putting in Willis right now. Like I said that to Leslie, and you mean.
No, in Vrabel's presser today, he was like, oh, well, in times like these, you just got to stand by people you trust. When they asked about the Bills' loss,
yeah,
beat them so bad that they're talking in platitudes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
yeah.
He was like, when times get like these, Ma always said, when you get down, gotta be with the people you trust.
Grandma wants to know if you were the one in the blue shirt with the beard in the stands.
I mean, I'm in 335, so I doubt you could.
You're not gonna see him.
Yeah.
All right. So the actual game.
Yes. I mean, it was except for that little part.
Where things got a little sketchy.
Yeah.
For like a minute.
A literal minute.
But even going into halftime, there were some nerves.
No.
There were watching it.
Well, people weren't like, oh, we're gonna lose. People were like, dude, what is happening? Like what? They're like, what are we doing?
Right.
And then they came out on that first drive to open the half and marched down made them turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And then they took their first drive and literally just marched down the field. And I think that was Diggs's first or second. I think that might have been Diggs's second touchdown.
Yeah, I think he's.
And then, because I think he scored 2 in the second half.
Gilliam had the one in the first. Yeah. In the first half. It was 17-10 at halftime.
I think so. No.
CJ knows his stuff.
I know.
Well, we know where CJ is, but CJ's in jail. So
yeah.
No, he's not in jail. It's his daughter's birthday. All is well. So yeah, it was 17-7 at halftime.
Yeah, so like people weren't really like worried, I guess. They were just kind of like, all right, like why don't we stop kind of like playing with our food? That's kind of the way it felt, honestly. Like people weren't like worried. We were just like, what are we doing? Like, let's stop.
Yeah.
Because when they got that touchdown to end the half, that's when people were like, all right.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the 4-yarder to Diggs.
Yeah. That last, when they got that touchdown to end the half, that's when people were like, okay.
That might have been like,
see ya.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can go home. Like, that's it.
Like, that's what I always tell you. It's like once they get up by 2 scores, like even if it's 10 points.
Yeah.
I'm always like, okay, they're just gonna put their foot on the gas now.
Yeah, and then but
it just seems to like take them a little bit. And Josh was really like.
Well, I think that the problem is
fluffy.
Is just this beginning is just to start the season. They always just like come out a little bit. It's not like passive, but it is to a certain point. Like they're a little bit like, we don't want to. And it's not like we don't want to show everything. We don't want to show like our full effect, because I don't think that's true. Because like I don't think we see that trick play to Gabe Davis last week against Los Angeles if they're trying to hide stuff in the playbook.
Right.
So I just think it's them just going, we need to play the way we think we need to play. Like this
after the first quarter. After the first quarter, they interviewed McDermott.
Yeah.
Okay. And they asked him like kind of like what's going on.
Yeah.
And he's like, we just gotta settle down and play our game.
Yeah,
and that's what he said. He's like, that's it. He's like, we gotta settle down and play our game. Like he's like, we're a little over aggressive right now, a little bit hyper, like a little bit jazzed up. He's like, let's just settle down, we'll play our game. And
it kind of felt that same feeling though also permeated through the crowd. Like people were like not being quiet on that very first drive on offense.
Right.
Like they were for like the first play, and then they got that first down, I think on third down, and everybody like freaked out. Or Devin Singletary, that run for 16 yards. Everybody was freaking out on that first drive, and then like nobody could really stay quiet until they got the third down. Then they got the first down, then nobody could stay quiet again until they got the third down. And it was like,
what I
this
noticed
repeating like thing where people are like shh, and people are like cheering and like trying to like root them on and like doing the let's go Buffalo, and people are like shut up. And
but that's part of like bandwagon fanning and like being there for your first time.
Yeah,
and that kind of stuff.
People being drunk, but like,
but Bills fans get drunk.
Like, whatever. But I felt like they were definitely hyper, because then you let Tennessee march down the field on 9 plays, and everybody was like, "Whoa, hold on,
right?
This might be a ball game."
Right.
And then, we got turned over on downs on that 4th down, which can't believe Moss did not. Whatever, but then
That's going to be a problem at some point.
that he can't catch because he's supposed to be able to. Like,
Well, he had 6 catches in week 1.
yeah, I don't know.
You know, but
It just seems like if there's somebody coming, like he can't make the tough catch, like he can't make the catch in traffic, kind of thing. Like, I don't know.
it wasn't the best throw either.
I know, but
No, I'm just saying,
like
it. I mean, you were at the game, so you saw it. So
Yeah.
but I could say I saw it on TV, and it wasn't the best throw. Like Josh was very hyper until,
yeah.
and he didn't take a hit this time to like calm down either, which like,
Well, I think what
which
did
was
it.
interesting.
I think what did it was that 4th and 1 because he was mad that he didn't complete that.
Mhm.
But then, that when they only got 11 yards on 9 plays, like that encroachment penalty was annoying, but it was valid. But people were like, no.
yeah,
and then
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah,
saw it because like you didn't see it. And then you saw it on a big screen and you were like, all right, fine.
I still disagreed with it because I mean their whole thing was there was no one in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
And so when Van Rotten put his hand up to touch the guy's head, he wasn't in the neutral zone.
No, I'm talking about the Phillips penalty, the encroachment.
Oh, okay.
On the Tennessee drive.
Yeah. That one was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Well, at first people were, people did the booing, and then like everybody saw them big screen. We're like, oh, okay, that's fine.
You know what's an interesting thing though that you just brought up about crowds? I've noticed this at football games now, like even ones I watch on TV since I haven't gone to any this year, or last, except for the 2 last year. Anyway, is that crowds aren't quiet on offense anymore.
Not really, no.
It's just it seems to be a thing everywhere. You see it. You see people in the crowd going shh, shh,
Yeah.
shh. And it's like just give it up. Like people are enjoying it and they're loud and that's just how it is. Like they just want to be loud. And so I find that as a thing. It's just something that I sort of felt was interesting. So
yeah, and then so then there was the Edmonds sack, which got people riled up, and then once they false started, there was a face mask penalty, and then he got him to false start on the punt formation. That's when everybody was like, all right, things are going to turn around.
Yeah.
But I think it was that field goal drive and Josh missing that 4th down that made him mad because
that's I think
it
what
was
got
the
people unsettled.
it was the pass to Kumaro. It was like he should have had it,
Yeah.
I felt wasn't Kumaro like open, I believe,
and he overthrew him. That one.
Yeah.
Okay.
On 3rd and 1 on that drive, right? And then so then they had to settle for the field goal, and I don't know. Josh came off the field and did his like. So I think that got it because then they go 3 and out on the next drive, and you march down the field and
Tennessee.
right, and then you march down the field to close the half, and they have a minute left, and they didn't they?
They scored with a minute left.
No, they didn't. No. They tried to pass. It fell incomplete, and then they completed a pass, and then Greg Rousseau sacked them to end the quarter, and they just let time run out. Because with 45 seconds left, though. That moment, too.
That was
everybody.
Interesting.
Everybody was like, "Oh, wow, they're being
very conservative."
They're being like,
yeah,
they're scared. That's what everybody started saying because, they also they did not take a single kick out of the end zone, even when they were down.
Yeah.
And even and sometimes the ball landed in front of the logo, which is like prime real estate to be able to return it. Like, I feel like that's kind of your edge. And it wasn't like it was close to the logo. I thought it was returnable.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like at least you would be able to give yourself a chance to do something. And nope, they didn't take one out of the end zone. I don't remember them taking one.
No, I don't think they did.
But I think then that's when the pure domination started. I mean, right after they kicked that field goal, that was it. Because then, even though you had the punt from us, the one punt that then they muffed.
The one that they muffed, it didn't count as a punt.
No.
Because he muffed it.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, does this not technically count as a punt?
It didn't count.
So they technically haven't punted then. And
no, because they punted later.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they punted a couple more times. Right.
Yeah.
But
it was like, oh, they punted, and then it was like, oh, they fumbled, so it doesn't count. And then
it was just, it was wild. The interception by Poyer was.
Yeah, that was neat.
And then you had the pick six from Matt Milano.
The pick six from Milano was.
That's when everybody started to leave.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay. So, I think an interesting, contrast was when Dane Jackson went down.
Yeah.
Right. When Jackson went down and got hurt, and stadium got silent. Obviously, we were all nervous at home.
Yeah.
Ambulance came out, all of that jazz, right? He didn't thumbs up to the crowd, right? I assume.
No. They didn't have cameras on him. There wasn't a feed on him.
No, they were at commercial the whole time for us. So
yeah, they all the Bills players came out and huddled around him, like, and even all average. It was a
brutal hit that he took. I mean, it's amazing that
you didn't see it though. Nobody knew what happened, and nobody knew who it was because you didn't see it. You couldn't see it.
Well, that's why I was texting you.
So
but so Dane went down, and then the next play, Rousseau and Miller line up on the same side, and Rousseau just bursts through the middle as Miller draws the double team.
Yeah.
And Rousseau bursts through and gets the crowd just insane again. Like, you could hear it. And it was like, okay, that's what they needed. Yeah. Like, that was like the perfect thing to happen after Jackson went down.
Yeah.
Because I was at like the Kevin Everett game when Everett got hurt and, lost, his everything from the neck down.
Right.
And, like, stadium was silent, and it was during the drought. So the Bills, I couldn't even tell you who the quarterback was or whatever. Thad Lewis or, who knows?
Right. Yeah.
But, that was pretty brutal. So to see and to hear the news that he was good before the game even ended, was also helpful, I think, as a fan.
When they gave the update on the screen, that was okay. Right. That happened right before the end of the half with 58 seconds left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what made them down the ball, I think.
Well, they took a timeout. Tennessee.
It counted as a timeout because he got hurt.
Yeah. But and then like you said, the Rousseau sack happened right after. Right. So then the Rousseau sack happened. Everybody got insane, and like you could see that happen, and like Von Miller's presence was felt. Like watching him live. Holy shit. Like, oh my God. Like, he is able to take, he was able to take on that double team, literally pull two guys together and make Rousseau burst through. Like, he did that.
Yeah.
But you
Rousseau
could see
also
him,
made an amazing move.
Go like that. Well, that spin move. I don't know. I never thought anybody could do a Von Miller spin like Von Miller, but Greg Rousseau was pretty damn close because he did that spin at least 3 or 4 times in that game, and you were like, whoa, like, oh my God.
They were talking during the show about how Miller has taken Rousseau under his wing, but Miller has said that Rousseau has taken him under his wing or over his wing, or in that sense, in that he doesn't let Von Miller get away from him. Like he's always following him around and doing whatever Von Miller does. So they were like they had an example like after at a practice after where a defensive set ended or something, Miller ran from the 50-yard line to the end, and Rousseau ran up and caught up to him, and was like, "Hey, how's it go?" Like that kind of thing. So,
I like that.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool that, and you obviously see it working for Rousseau.
Well, I mean, like the greatest quote that Von Miller gave, I think it was during training camp. They were like, "So what are you doing with Greg?" They're like, "What are you doing to make him better?" And he was like, "I'm feeding him bullets and gasoline." And when I think there was also a play that Greg made earlier too, and that quote just went through my head because he looks like he's a monster.
He is.
Like he it doesn't matter. He looks unblockable sometimes. Like truly. Like
I mean it's
he
nice.
He was kind of the reason why, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure he was the one who like threw Luan to the ground.
Yes.
And got him hurt.
Yep.
Like he threw a grown man straight
6'8".
Yeah, straight to the ground.
Yeah.
Like just with no regard.
I mean Groot's also 6'8",
but still.
Yes.
He's good. It's different when you're throwing 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree. I agree. So a lot of injuries came out of this game. Obviously, we know about Dane Jackson. He's probably going to be out for weeks, if not the season, just to be safe.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, we don't know
talk
what's
about
exactly going on.
The cornerback situation in a little while. Dawson Knox hurt his foot. Micah Hyde got hurt.
Yeah.
Phillips got hurt, and surprisingly, Poyer got hurt. He was limited in practice today. I don't remember Poyer getting hurt, but here were the guys listed on today's injury report. So Gabe Davis was limited. Yeah. Hyde did not practice. Dane did not practice. Cam Lewis was full practice, which is a yip-de-doo, right?
Well, I mean, at least you have that body. I mean, he's at least serviceable.
Well, Saron Neal's going to step in before Lewis, right?
Well, I know that. But I mean, like, you can at least put him
on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dawson Knox did not practice. Milano was a full go with his neck injury. Mitch Morse was limited. Ed Oliver was limited. Phillips did not practice. They said that's a serious groin injury, which makes me nervous, obviously. But, I mean, this is why
you have the depth.
They brought in 12 defensive linemen.
But still, Phillips
he's been a monster the first two games. And then Poyer was limited and Settle was limited.
Okay, I mean, some of those guys, I am worried about, but I'm worried about Hyde. We know Dane's not gonna, but like, I think Knox was a DNP just to give him like a rest. I mean, he after he got hurt though, he came back for like a play and then he was done.
Right.
I don't know.
But he did get hurt. I mean, that's the thing. I know they have Tommy Sweeney, who didn't play at all.
Quentin Morris.
Well, Sweeney was a scratch. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sweeney was a squash. And but yeah, I mean
Morris though looked good too. Like
it still depletes your. It's not what you want.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Dawson Knox is the guy, tight end position, obviously. But I mean, Quentin Morris though was like serviceable.
Yeah. So let's talk about next week.
I think that
So-
they're going to win by a lot.
Okay, there's a trickle down effect from the Cam Lewis injury, right? Which is now you have to start rookie corners on both ends, right? I know this is probably talked about on every podcast and every WGR and whatever in the world, but it's still the case. You're talking about starting 2 rookie corners on as your
Jalen
outside
Waddle and
as your
Tua
outside
or
corner against
Tyreek.
Waddle and Hill.
Yeah.
Right. So they're slippery.
Yeah.
They're Dolphins, right? So that's what's made Tua great so far. So far.
Okay.
So far. Okay. Look, Tua threw for 6 touchdowns, had like whatever, and had a huge comeback. I mean, they had to be throwing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of it. That's why he had 460 yards passing. They had to throw.
Yeah, but then the Browns also just sat there in zone and let like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle just get open. I don't expect the Bills to do that due to the fact that they knew how to handle Hill from the Kansas City days, and they're basically using him the way he was in Kansas City minus the end arounds that they're doing with Waddle instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, I don't know. Waddle's never been a factor. And also, I mean, they weren't able to contain Myles Garrett. And if they weren't able to contain Myles Garrett, that means they're not going to be able to contain Von Miller either.
No, I agree. And Taron, like the 2 biggest did not practices for Miami today were Taron Armstead, right, starting left tackle, and Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
So I mean that's important.
And the other thing is Josh has never ever been afraid of Xavier Howard and any of those DBs on Miami. And it feels like also every single time Josh plays Miami, he's like ready to prove some sort of point for some reason, and he has to throw like
he's 9-1 against Miami, and he's won his last 7.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, he's very good against Miami. It's going to be really hot down there, but the biggest question on the Bills side is still those corners against the wide receivers.
Yeah,
especially if either Hyde or Poyer can't play.
Well, yes, obviously,
if one of the 2 of them can't play, then you're in a whole mess of trouble.
But I don't think it's gonna be as bad as people think it is because even though Benford, is gonna be. I mean, Benford and Elam are gonna be slower than both of them, so that's gonna be the problem. But I think the thing that they're gonna have to do is like make them earn it going past them. And Benford is fantastic at like punching the dude and like not getting called and like doing it before the 5 yards. I mean, I felt like there were a couple times last night where he was on the field and he made the play
2 nights ago.
Yeah, whatever. Sunday, Monday. Yeah.
Today's Wednesday.
Losing track of time. But on Monday night when he was just like beating up wide receivers at the point of attack. And I think that's what you're going to have to do. Now, Mike Gesicki, he might be a problem, but also Tua doesn't really like throw to him anywhere other but the end zone.
I mean, again, if Milano plays,
yeah,
let's assume Milano plays. He practiced in full.
Yeah.
Right? You're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You know,
I mean, I think
Edmonds has looked better this year in pass coverage.
I think if they get consistently beat, like if let's say like, you know, they're able to march down the field by getting consistently beat and they give up a big touchdown, I think at that point then I think the Bills are good enough to sit back and say, okay, we're not going to let you beat us deep. We're just going to let you get everything from the line of scrimmage right to 15 yards. And then when you get into the red zone, we're going to just make you kick field goals or just sack you.
The problem with that, again, is these guys are so fast and so wiggly that they run around guys and they run around tacklers.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, this will be a really good. I mean, you drafted Elam to be your man-to-man, make him earn it, beat up the guy at the point of attack. Like, that's what he's supposed to be able to do. And you saw, and you didn't expect it out of Benford, but that is what Benford does. Yeah. Benford beats up guys. Now, he gets beat and is sometimes a little bit slower but he's also there at least. So, like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think it is. They're going to get a long touchdown. I'll give them that. They'll probably beat us with somebody deep. But, like, I don't think if it ends up getting into a shootout that, like, they're going to be able to keep up with us if we're just able to just go.
No, and that's what I was going to that's what I was going to say. I'm just saying, though, that this is their biggest matchup problem. That's it. That's it. I mean, they also have Christian Wilkins against, inside.
Yeah.
Who's going against Mitch Morse, who, or Greg Van Rotten, and Emmanuel Ogba at end. He had 13 sacks or something last year. I mean, these things matter.
Well, I mean, but if, like, okay, I mean, sure, if the line...
I'm just telling you, this is...
No, I know, and I'm giving you... Yes, and I'm giving you counterpoints. Do you not want me to... I'm just giving you the counterpoints. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that is a matchup. But I think that if the line starts to break down, I trust Josh to be able to run. Because the thing is they said consistently, they don't call many quarterback runs. It's Josh's decision. Mm-hmm. But they're also not telling Josh not to go. So I think if this turns into, the line can't really hold up, the line's looking a little suspect because they're missing some guys, I trust Josh to be able to extend the play, to be able to do what he does and to show up. I mean, I don't know. There isn't a team in the league right now that really scares me. I mean, you dropped a bunch of points on the Super Bowl champs when everybody was like, why are you favored? Why are you just being able to be perennial favorites right away without having to prove it? And then you drop 41 on the Tennessee Titans and force them to talk about trusting each other and, being around ones you love.
And you have to remember, Tennessee was the 1 seed last year.
Right.
I mean, so they were the AFC 1 seed. So they beat Super Bowl champions and the 1 seed. And now you're playing a team who looks like they're a playoff team. Right?
Yeah.
And then next week you're playing a playoff team.
Yeah.
And then week 5 is
Kansas City. Is it?
I thought that was week 6. That was right before the bye. But doesn't matter. So I mean, I was just trying to preview the game, telling you who was out, what the matchups are, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's the Steelers. It's home against the Steelers. Week 5. Yeah, not worried about that one either.
Yeah, as long as Watts.
I mean, again, I'll maintain what I said to start the season. I mean, if they were to walk into the bye undefeated, I would not be surprised. I mean, I think there are certain problems here, but I don't know. Benford and Elam have looked okay, and I think that's enough. Sure, they're going to get burned. I think they'll get burned for a long touchdown or at least something deep, because that's just the way. That's just what happens. That's just
the Bills have scored 72 points and given up 17.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just think about that. Okay, widest gap in the league, right? So Elam and Benford must be doing something right, even if you have 2 all-pro safeties, right? So from that standpoint, you've got a lot of good things going for you. If you look at the league right now, it's the Bills, it's the next tier. Like, the Bills are alone.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're just like a super team right now, and that's how they look.
Yeah.
And if they can get through this injury phase, right? If they can get Trey back, right? I mean, people haven't even talked about Trey, but my guess is he'll come back after the bye. That's still my guess. They're
Yeah.
not going to rush him,
No.
especially if they're playing like this and the offense can outscore anyone. Now, when you were talking about the Bills and the Dolphins, I think while Tua is playing really well, while they have a lot of weapons, that if this gets into a gunslinging match, right, then I would much rather have Josh be my gunslinger.
The other thing is I think Tua's going to make a mistake. And if Tua makes a mistake, we're going to just immediately pounce on it. Like, that's going to be the problem. Like, if he throws 1 or 2 interceptions, that's immediately I think that's immediately 14 points in my head.
Well, again, I mean, think about this. The Bills beat the Rams with 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
so
true.
Turnovers, right? They beat the Rams by 21 points while giving the ball away 4 times.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, from that standpoint, like, again, it's hard to say that they don't look like the team who's going to win the Super Bowl. It's hard not to say that. I mean, like, they do. They look so much better than any other team out there.
And it looks like it's like it doesn't matter what happens either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have the guys next man up to fill in, right?
Because like
the only thing that can stop them is losing Josh. I don't even think losing Diggs can stop them.
No, because I mean, like, even though Diggs got 12 receptions on Monday,
and 10 receptions the week before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gabe Davis got a touchdown, Gillingham got a touchdown. I think Knox has a touchdown. So like Josh is still spreading the ball around, and trying to get guys open. I mean, Diggs has 270 yards and is obviously leading the team. But I mean, Gabe Davis still has 88 and a touchdown. McKenzie still has 56 and a touchdown. So like, he is still trying to get the ball around. It's just that Diggs is open.
You know what I liked?
And Diggs is on a mission.
Yes, he is.
This year.
He is. And he's in the top 10 for odds to be offensive player of the year. So is Josh, but Diggs is actually higher.
Okay, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but like, why? That's my question. What happened to make him be like this? Because he was never ever like this in his career. Like, he was cocky, but this is him saying, I am the best wide receiver in the league. And he's said that repeatedly, but it's different this time.
Isn't this a payday year potentially?
No, they gave him the extension.
Yeah, but it may be the kind of thing where I'm not saying his contract's up, but it's the kind of year where you renegotiate. You're in that kind of season where you renegotiate a contract with him. And
but they renegotiated him to 18.5.
Okay.
So
he wants more guaranteed money. So give him more guaranteed money up front, whatever it is, right? And it's to your point, he's on a mission. Maybe it was the Hill trade and Hill running his mouth all off season, right? I mean,
no, I'm just saying, like, this is just a different Stephon Diggs. I don't know how to explain.
Maybe he just has a killer instinct this year and just is saying, I'm going to get it. I'm going to go get it. And him and Josh have just been on the same wavelength the entire time.
Yeah.
Maybe Diggs sees what everyone else on the team sees, which is that they're going to the Super Bowl unless something awful goes wrong.
Josh has a 75.4% completion percentage.
Yeah.
He's missed 17 passes through 2 games.
7 quarters, though, not 2 games.
That's even more ridiculous.
It was a preseason game. No, I'm saying it was like a preseason game. How do you pull someone in the 4th quarter?
No, they
for the
pulled them
entire quarter.
They pulled them in the middle of the third.
No. There were 12 seconds left in the third.
Oh,
when
But,
Whedon went in and
Keenum.
why do I do that every time?
Because they don't. I don't
Their
know why you
names.
do it. Actually, it's the E in it. I guess.
Yeah. When Keenum went in, and I mean,
when Keenum went in, everybody was like, "Yeah."
Good. He better.
They were like, "Oh, he's warming up on the sidelines," said the extremely drunk guy in front of me.
And Leslie said to me, "Are they gonna put in their backups, like at like right when, like literally right when they put their backups in?" Like she asked me like 5 minutes before that. She's like, "Are they gonna put in their backups?" I go, "You don't do that during the regular season." I'm like, it's almost disrespectful.
Yeah.
And then Tennessee put their backups in.
Yeah.
And then the Bills put their, and I was like, what?
I think though Tennessee.
I'm like, Allen could have had 500 yards passing.
Oh, they could have scored another 24 points in the fourth quarter.
Right.
I think even though Tennessee was getting stops and making plays on defense, we were talking about earlier, it doesn't matter what happens to this team. It's like they just keep going. This entire team can be described as the Energizer Bunny. They do not stop. They do not stop. They just keep going. They're like, we're going to score on you. We're going to march down the field, and the only way you have to stop us is either the guy misses it on a turnover on downs, or you actually make a play.
Mm-hmm.
Because if one of those two things don't happen, we're going to score a touchdown. Like you physically have to stop us. And that's the way I feel like this entire offense is. And that's the way I feel also that Josh's mentality is this year, is you have to stop me. I am the best player on this field, and you have to prove that you can stop me. And as it stands right now, I don't think that there is one team that truly scares me. Because yes, you saw those comebacks, but I mean, the Browns were sitting there playing in zone the whole freaking time. I'm wondering what Stefanski's doing, letting Tua sit there in the pocket with bare minimal pressure, only having to run away from Myles Garrett.
He's winning by a gazillion points.
Also,
right?
Why do you not tell Nick Chubb, don't score the football?
Don't score the football?
Don't score the touchdown to get his third touchdown with like 2 minutes left or whatever it was. And it was like,
I know.
Why would you tell him to score? Why would you not say keep the what are we doing? And then the Cardinals win on pure luck. Pure luck. That was pure luck that he fumbled that football again. Because that is Hunter Renfrow.
Right.
I mean, like you don't expect that to happen.
Right.
I mean, I don't remember where I was, but I remember somebody going, "Oh my God, he fumbled it again."
Right.
Like, what? And it was insane.
He doesn't fumble.
Right.
Yeah.
So they won on pure luck. The Patriots could barely beat the Steelers, and the Steelers get no pass rush with TJ Watt. They were barely in Mac Jones's face, and he still got sacked. The Jets, I don't care.
Mac Jones is so good.
They put up 17 points, and Minkah Fitzpatrick is looking like a god because these quarterbacks are literally throwing the ball directly to him. I mean,
so I just want to bring up a quote.
And then the Jets are the Jets.
The Jets are the Jets. Yes.
Jets
fans boo.
Well, did you see that they're like, well, we're comfortable with Flacco, so we're not going to rush Zach Wilson? I'm like, yes, Flacco is the top 3 in the NFL, but you really think that's going to last for that long? Come on.
I just get that you don't rush Zach Wilson because you know that you're in the AFC East, and that you don't have the power to put up with, So, this goes back to
that's like Tennessee waving the right flag to me. I
just want to. This was Von Miller after the game. He said, and this goes back to what you were saying, right? Whenever we're up, we say to each other, don't blink, don't let our foot off the gas. He said it's a killer instinct. It's a blood in the water instinct.
He was mic'd up for the LA game, and all he kept saying on the sideline was, "Don't blink. Don't blink." He's like, "Don't blink." He's like, he would say it to everybody, offense and defense. He would walk down the sideline. He'd be like, "Don't blink."
So do
blink.
Do the Bills have enough? Do the Bills have enough to do this through the next 15 games?
I think
to be this powerful in this kind of track meet kind of football that they're playing on both sides of the ball, where they're flying around on defense, they're flying around on offense. Do they have enough to say where we can trust them in week 18 to say, hey, they're still awesome and that they're going into the playoffs with the momentum we want them to go into?
I do, because I'm going to go back to what you just said, where they're flying on both sides of the ball. When they had those 4 turnovers against LA never once turned those into points. I'm pretty sure. Or they might have turned one into like a field goal.
Yeah.
But like, they still had 4 turnovers and still scored 10 points.
Right.
So it's like the offense kept shooting themselves in the foot, and the defense was like, all right, time to go out and do our jobs.
Yeah.
Like, time to just go stop them. And they did every time. So, I mean, like, and yeah, and this is a good point too. Yes, of course, if injuries can be kept to a minimum, yeah, obviously that as well. Because, I mean, we're already seeing the problem now. You know, we're a little nervous with Elam and Benford starting. With Teron Johnson, but the problem is do you
not worried about Johnson?
Well, right, we're not worried about Johnson, but the problem is is Johnson fast enough to be like your number one, like to not put him in the slot?
No, he belongs in the slot. He's going to play the slot.
Yeah. Okay. So like, yeah. So you're playing Elam and Benford on the outside.
But did you know that they've been practicing Johnson with the linebackers?
Oh, I love that. You know, you talked about that, making somebody that rover, and yeah, he would be fantastic at it. But yeah, I mean, you know, so as long, I mean, this Miami game will be, again, I mean, the LA game was your first test because it was, what are you going to look like without Trey? And it looks like doesn't even matter if Trey's on the defense or not. Like, nobody's going to score.
Yep.
Like,
no,
and they're going to get interceptions.
I'm with you.
But this is test number 2 now. Well, yeah. So
no, I mean,
I think beating Tennessee, you have to beat Tennessee because you haven't done it in 2 years.
Right.
And
it's just a mental test.
It's right.
Like, even though Tennessee doesn't have the firepower they had last year, right? They traded AJ Brown, they got the rookie guy, you know, and he looked good. Burks looked good to me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he looked like a AJ Brown in the making, you know, and that kind of thing. But, you know, I mean, let's go back to what Brenda said. Did Derrick Henry play? 13 carries. He averaged 1.9 yards.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, and LA.
Who does it to Derrick Henry?
In LA, Cooper Kupp got most of his time when you were already up anyway.
Right.
Got most of his yards, I mean, when you were already up.
Unless you're arguing with a Rams fan who will tell you that, no, he didn't get it at garbage time. But,
well, they didn't do anything.
So again, I want to go back to the injury point because again, and I guess there's 2 players who can't get injured, Josh and Von Miller.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Well, right. Yeah.
Like, that's it to me. If Josh is playing all season and plays all season, and Miller is there rolling the sidelines, even if he gets 33% of the snaps on the field. Like, he doesn't need to play all this. He just needs to be there for the impact plays and to impact the team and to impact the players, right? That's what he was brought in for.
And yeah, and I mean, but you're seeing it already because
you were seeing it in training camp.
Well, I mean, no, but I mean, like, you saw being there in the stadium. Like, I watched Von a lot because I was like, I want to watch him. And like, when I'm saying it was impressive to watch, I mean, he had He had double teams on him. He had triple teams on him, and that was able to just release these defenders. And that was that. When you talk about what teams need as a missing puzzle piece, this Von Miller is it, because Von Miller is
For
that
the
guy.
Bills.
Right, because Von Miller is the guy who lets you get the pass rush. The reason why Rousseau is doing so well and Phillips are doing so well, and Basham, right, all of these guys who we were sitting here going,
and Oliver's not playing and they're still being successful.
Right, and you were sitting here going, well, I understand why they signed Daquan Jones, because they didn't want it. They wanted to get rid of Starr, and
Right.
but like Jordan Phillips, he still made the route. Okay, but then
And Lawson's there and he barely
played. Right. But you're sitting there and you're seeing these guys make impact and that's because of Von Miller. Von Miller is everybody's attention's on him,
Mhm.
and they're just flying.
And like, even when you talk about the line, like, they took Brandon Bryant off of the practice squad, threw him in, and he was making plays.
Yeah.
They took CJ Brewer off of the practice squad, threw him in, and he was making plays. Frick is CJ Brewer. Like,
yeah, I mean, the only reason we know who Brandon Bryant is because he's been here for 4 years.
Right.
Like, who are these guys? They're not supposed to be making plays, but that's because of Von Miller.
And they're stopping Derrick Henry. So theoretically, they should stop Hill and Waddle. Because that's what this team is doing. They stopped Allen Robinson.
You stop Hill and Waddle by getting 7 sacks without blitzing like you did against the Rams. Because if you're into his face all day, I don't care if the only person he literally had to run away from was Myles Garrett. And what they were doing was they were just saying to us, take 3 steps and fling it. And they were having to get it out. And that's what they're going to do against us. But the problem is the only person who was getting pressure was Myles Garrett. We're going to get more than one person. You're going to have Basham. You're going to have, Rousseau. You're going to have even Daquan Jones. I mean, Daquan Jones I think he got a tackle for loss.
Yeah.
On Derrick Henry. Every single person on the defensive line is making plays, and this is something also that we've never seen. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been saying. We need to get the pressure. We need to have guys who get in the backfield and get to the quarterback.
Right.
Because, yes, our DBs are amazing, but they can't, but we've seen it before. They can't hang all day. They can't just be around with the wide receiver.
No, I agree. And what the Bills have done in the past couple seasons is been able to get pressure but not actually get sacks, right? And they've been able to contain, but not actually get sacks.
Not get there.
Right. And then they didn't have enough beef in the middle to stop the Derrick Henrys.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one Derrick Henry, right?
Well, they didn't stop Jonathan Taylor either.
True.
So last year, he got 5 touchdowns.
Well, and they're not going to play them this year, so.
Yeah.
Most likely
they would be
okay. So let's talk about the other teams. Are the Eagles number 2?
The Eagles. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think
think so.
That's awesome. They look real good. I mean, Darius Slay also looks like a man on a mission. I don't know if that was just because he wanted to.
I feel like he's always had Kirk Cousins' number.
Yeah,
Slay. I don't know why. I feel like he's
Slay
always
came from Detroit, so
he's always had his number. And so other than the Eagles,
he also wanted.
Is there anyone else in the NFC who is scary? Maybe.
I don't even think the Eagles are that scary.
Maybe the Bucks.
There's no. I don't know. I'm not. I mean,
your biggest competition is Kansas City.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't even know.
But I mean, to be serious,
to be serious, yeah, that is
right.
Yes, in the AFC, obviously, yeah.
But I mean, even all of these powerhouses, the Bills are playing during the regular season, and they're all mostly in the AFC. I mean,
I'm not worried about the Chargers anymore.
Green Bay.
I'm definitely not worried about Green Bay. I mean,
in the second half, they have the Jets twice, the Patriots twice.
I'm not worried about the Patriots. I'm
And they have
not worried
Cleveland.
about Minnesota.
Though Cleveland would be, oh no, he got suspended for 11 games.
So he would come back.
He would come back against Detroit.
Yeah, so we're playing Jacoby Brissett.
So we'd be playing Jacoby Brissett. Oh, yeah. Well, you want to talk about another Derrick Henry? I guess Nick Chubb would be it. But
their line isn't as good.
No.
So like I'm not. And Nick Chubb also hasn't really had success against us. I don't remember Nick Chubb being a factor in the last time they played.
I don't remember either. But so I mean, the second half after the bye, right? Your toughest games, I guess, are within your division.
I don't know. I mean, are you even worried about Cincinnati anymore?
Yes.
I
am not off the Cincinnati bandwagon.
I am, because I saw a clip of Joe Burrow yelling at Zach Taylor saying you can't do no sets because the line kept getting beat so bad.
No, I think that they'll change it around. Zach Taylor is not stupid, right?
I'm not saying he is.
No. I mean, but I'm just saying in general, I think that they'll turn it around. I think Cincinnati will win the Central or the North.
Yeah.
Sorry. Baseball on my mind, I guess. But I think they'll win the North. I think Burrow's smart enough to know what he's got in front of him now.
I mean, I think your toughest game is just Cincinnati because, I mean, yeah, you'll have Trey probably back by
post-bye, you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you have Baltimore, Kansas City. I'm not afraid of Pittsburgh.
I'm not afraid of Pittsburgh.
But
I'm sorry, Mitch Trubisky really isn't that good.
No, and you know, I had hoped.
I did too, but like I saw some clips of him and like he's not good. I don't know, but I don't know if it's like arm strength or if like he just doesn't trust these guys. Like he's just not doing the right things with the football. Like these guys are wide open and he's just like looking them off.
There's talk that again the players are not happy with Matt Canada.
Well, Matt Canada though, also why are you not using Najee Harris?
Right.
What's going on?
I know it would really help my fantasy team, but
I know last week I felt like we were like the matchup of like which team will underperform worse. Right? Like I had Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara was out. Like I was like, come on.
But yeah, no, I mean, in the end,
post bye, your toughest game is Cincinnati. But as it stands right now, I mean, if they can't get it together, that's going to be another.
You want to talk about running backs? You have Green Bay, you have Minnesota, you have Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Jones looks dangerous, but like
Jones plus Dylan.
But also, okay, Dylan though, I'm starting to get
Dylan fan.
Oh my god, I'm starting to get unsold. I'm starting to get a little bit unsold because I'm starting to think he's a little bit of a one-trick pony. Where he can catch. I'm not saying he can't catch, but I think Jones catches better than he does.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like Dylan is very just straight ahead. Doesn't really care what's in front of him. He just will hit it. And if he makes contact, he makes contact. And if he stops running, that's it. And if he keeps running, he keeps going. Like, I don't know if that's like a ball carrier vision thing or if like that's just the way he is. But like, I don't know. I'm starting to get a little bit unsold because there were a couple runs where I'm like, why are you just not trying to find
a hole?
Yeah. Like, why are you just running? Why are you running?
I think it's because he thinks he's powerful.
Yeah.
And he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a powerful guy, right?
But like Minnesota doesn't scare me because of Kirk. Because they are limited by Kirk Cousins. Like, can we admit that finally? Like, Kirk Cousins is a mid quarterback. Like, we're this is what we got. This is where Kirk is right now. This is it. I think we have seen his ceiling. Like, and so I think he's holding Minnesota back.
I don't know that he's holding. Well, I think when you have Justin Jefferson, right? It's
Adam Thielen.
Thielen keeps getting hurt. He's left both games. And so when you have Justin Jefferson, it's like having Diggs. I mean, you have a legitimate number one receiver, and if not the best receiver in the league in Jefferson. And sure, it's arguable, whatever, but he's a monster. And, you ask your quarterback to throw to him 20 times a game and hope he makes 15 catches.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, that's what you should be doing. That's what they should be doing, is handing the ball off to Cook and Madison and throwing to Jefferson and the other Cook at tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And if Thielen is healthy that game, then to Thielen as well. But I mean,
like, I'm not scared of Cleveland.
Not scared of Detroit.
I'm definitely not scared of Detroit. I don't
except
care
Amon
how good
Ross,
they look right
St.
now.
Brown, right?
But I mean, like, I feel like, though,
he's so good.
But I mean, like, look at what so far
but they're all limited by Jared Goff, right? Jared Goff.
No, I'm just saying. No, I was just talking about like this, like the superstars on each of these teams, like Green Bay with Aaron Jones, Minnesota with Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, Cleveland with the Chubb, Detroit with St. Brown, Miami with Waddle and the other guy. I could say you could give. Chicago starts actually freaking running the freaking football.
Speaking of fantasy teams issues,
so mad.
You should pick up Herbert. He's still out there.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was.
Oh, I thought you meant Justin Herbert. Yeah, Khalil Herbert. No, they're not running. They're not doing anything. They're not. I don't know what they're doing. They're like being stupid.
It's Chicago. I don't know.
But Chicago with Montgomery and you can't say Mooney because Mooney's done nothing.
But that's Fields. To me, that's Fields.
And then Cincinnati, with their wide receiver core. But I'm like, when you're looking at these guys, and even with Baltimore and Kansas City, it's like I just don't know.
Every team has limits. Every team has a hole.
I know we do, right? But right now I don't.
Not the Bills.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying every other team on their schedule has holes.
Anybody else's superstars are going to matter. Like, I think that Travis Kelce could go off for 200 yards against us, and it won't matter. Like, I think
it'll be like Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a bunch of Cooper Kupp moments throughout the year, but it's not going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
And because and I'm going to just keep pressing on this point, but this team just doesn't stop. They just don't stop. They just seem to have an endless motor. I don't know. Like, it's like the entire team starts crack before every single game. Like, they're just.
Well, let's hope that's not the case.
Hey, they would really be going back to the Super Bowl 53 days.
53. Oh, that'd be the Cowboys. So, anything else you want to talk about?
No. I think. Do we want to do score prediction real quick? What do you think?
With Miami?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. With the Titans, I had 38-8. And it was 41-10.
Okay.
7.
41-7. Yeah, cool.
So, and that's out on Twitter, so people can find it. They can read it, see how smart I am. So with Miami, I think they'll be in the 30s again. I just think Miami's going to score more.
I do too, but I think it's just going to be garbage time. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to burn us, but it's going to be like when it doesn't
I'm going to
matter.
stick with 38, and I'll say 38-24.
Okay. I'm not going to be as close as you. I'm thinking I think they get over 40. Because I think in the 2 games last year they got over 40, if I remember correctly. Or I think they got the 37 in the first one, and then they got over 40 in the second one. But I think they're going to go over 40 again. I mean, they got 31 and 41, so I'll say they beat both of those, and they get to 45, and it's 45-17. But those 17, most of those 17 don't come until we're already up by a lot anyway.
So it's 5 field goals and a safety. It's no touchdowns. Is that it?
No, I'm saying like they scored the like it's
I
like
know.
24-3 at
And then-
half, and then we score like twice, and then they score a touchdown, and then we score again, and
they try harder and
yeah,
eventually score again.
Well, and right, because I really do think like at some point you're just gonna see a long touchdown. Like just be ready for it.
Yeah.
Or just something long with Waddle and Hill. Like it's going to happen. And it's exactly what happened with Cooper Kupp. It's not what happened with Derrick Henry.
Right.
But
okay, last question. If you're the Bills, do you look at cornerbacks this week?
No. If it was like week 12, maybe. Because you don't know how long they're going to be out. Do you want to risk that for the playoffs? Having that unstable, that question mark? Because like especially with the injury, like it is, to these guys where you might have to bring somebody in. You don't know if you were to deal with that in the playoffs.
I'm just here like when it comes to Cam Lewis, I think he's just done for the season. I don't think they can risk it.
Dane, yeah,
yes.
You probably saw his name on.
I did. I saw him on my notepad. And,
yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
When it comes to Dane, I don't know how much you can risk it.
I'm not holding out hope that he comes back, but I mean, him getting released right away gives me a thought that he might down the line. Which then, but I mean, like that's the problem. That's the other problem is you don't know
specifically. Like it was worded the way they said it was no major injuries.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I bet he's
to
like
the spinal cord
or
they said no major injuries to spinal cord, head, or neck.
I mean, if the injury ends up holding him out for the year, then yeah, maybe.
But the longer the season goes on, the better your rookies are.
Right. So that's the other thing is, I mean, like if Elam, right, you have Trey coming back, you're still gonna have Teron Johnson, and you'll have and they're running Jaquan Johnson again in 3 safety sets. They did it again against Tennessee. So they're trusting Jaquan Johnson out there. So that's another option for you. Even though Saron Neal's barely played, he'll get his moment now. And he is
if Taron Johnson goes down, I mean Neal is his backup.
Well, right. But Neal also hasn't really played these past 2 games.
Special teams.
Well, I'm saying
able to stretch his legs.
Defense. I mean, Neal is going to play this week because I think because Dane Jackson's out. I mean,
they're not moving Taron Johnson from the slot.
Right. So Neal's going to be behind Elam and Benford, in my opinion. I think he has to be.
We're missing somebody.
Well, Cam Lewis.
No, we're missing somebody else.
Are we? I don't think we are. No. It's Benford, Johnson, Dane, Elam, Saron, Neal, and Cam.
All right.
So, I mean, like, they like Cam, and I mean, I bet we're going to see a lot more of Jaquan Johnson. But I think that your guy isn't Cam Lewis behind Benford, Johnson, and Jackson. It has to be Saron Neal and Jaquan Johnson.
But Jaquan Johnson's a safety.
Yeah, so I mean, but I think I'm just saying that we'll see more 3 safety sets this week.
Okay.
Because they'll get him out there.
Okay.
And I mean, they trust him out there. They did it again. I mean, you don't do that 2 games in a row to not do that 2 games. To not trust him. I mean, you don't do that 2 games in a row and don't trust the guy. There we go.
There we go.
That's my opinion.
Any new sports news come in since we...
The rain tonight.
Judge hasn't hit his home run yet.
Damn. The Mets just set the MLB record for hit by pitches, and the manager, Buck Showalter, asked for the ball.
What do you think about Kenny Golladay saying, I don't want to be benched?
Then play better.
Okay. All right. On that note...
Justin Herbert is considered day to day.
That's right.
But like I don't know. There's no one who scares me. I don't think that's me being cocky, me being a Bills fan and having rose-colored glasses or anything. Like, you know, people out there seem to think that we're handling this. I don't think that's true.
Mhm.
I mean, nothing. It doesn't. It just seems like whatever happens, they're like, okay, cool, you did that. We're gonna go score now. Oh, want to see us do it again?
Yeah.
How about we do it one more time?
Yeah.
They scored 34 unanswered points.
Understood.
30. That's just nuts. That's just nuts.
They'll pounce on Miami. They'll pounce on,
Yeah. So what? So your score was 38.
I was gonna stick with 38 to
30,
24.
24, and I was 45-17.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of us will be right.
Let's hope.
I think. Well, hold on. Does that mean? Hold on. Let me see. Shut up. Shut up.
Are you doing math?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see what the over was. I'm assuming we could. It's 52. So we both took the over.
Yeah.
I think they hit the over. I think they've hit the over in every game.
You sure?
No, I don't think they hit the over in the first one.
Yeah, because that was only.
I think that over was like 50 again. But I think they hit the over in the last game. I know that. And then I think they hit it again this time. Because Josh just loves to destroy Miami.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to.
That works. That works.
But yeah.
Do you want to take us home?
I do. If you made it to the end, we appreciate you for watching. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Find us on Twitter at GameDay716. Interact with us.
Find us on YouTube.
Well, you're probably watching this on.
So press the freaking subscribe button.
Yeah. If you're not, it is YouTube. And just GameDay716 at YouTube. It'd be great if you're watching this
and get all your friends.
Locations. Yeah.
Call Pepsi.
Like, let us know what we can do better, I guess.
Call Pepsi.
Oh, Grandma thinks 4221, so she's in the same boat as me.
It's who?
Me.
She split the difference on both of ours.
She's closer to my score than. No, she was really kind of directly in the middle. Wow. Okay. Anyway, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you next time. And stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. And what the fuck?
Stay sunny, Buffalo. And